continuing on with another mostly original tale for my DCEU rewrite series, Justice League 3, Tower of Babel. And the film opens with Lex Luthor, but it's in the past and he discovers kryptonite and its effects on people and how it can unlock the metahuman gene in people. So he decides to run for president. And during his presidency, we see a slideshow and footage of him funding repairs to Metropolis, but also railing against vigilantes and other superheroes, and experimenting on people with kryptonite, including his own son becoming Parasite, tricking Bruce Wayne into helping fund and create Metallo, secretly continue to run LexCorp with his nephew as a puppet head, pitching the idea and allowing the creation of Task Force X, being really rude to people, spending most of his presidency in his Louisiana resort, the Hall of Doom, spreading misinformation, sending the army in during a peaceful protest while ignoring a more violent one, claiming that there's good on both sides, being very bad at the economy, separating families at the border, but no matter what he does, just no matter what he says, people still love him for whatever reason, including supposed local hero Magog, who claims because of what Superman did in Metropolis all those years ago against what's-his-face, he lost his entire family. But Lex gives him hope that there will be a better future without Superman. And eventually Lex decides to do something about what the elite did to the governments of Biala and Pokolistan several years after the elite did their thing, by sending 2 teams of Task Force X to the not Israel and Palestine. In modern times, we see this mission of one team going to totally not Palestine to take some info from the government. And other than Heatwave totally not being killed by Killer Frost, they go off without a hitch. But more interesting, Team 2 is having another train mission to take out the warlord of totally not Israel. And they fight their way through the train, and using a special diamond they cut it in half. And they get through a metal door and a bunch of guards. Peacemaker uses human torpedo, and he flies through. It works, but also breaks every bone in his body. As the rest of the squad flood in, Deadshot gets knocked on the ground by the Warlord, but Count Vertigo, using his powers, and Punch using something, force the Warlord to take himself out. They also get some info from him, but then Vertigo uses his powers on Deadshot, and Punch is taken out by his girlfriend Julie. It turns out the two are gonna leave with the info. They can have a copy for Waller, but Vertigo plans on using this info to blackmail the US government. He's gonna return to his country with Julie as his new countess. Deadshot reminds him, "You idiot, Waller's always watching." Vertigo's like, "Yeah, right." And Waller over comm says, "When I said I was going to watch the squad closer, I meant it." As T-spheres float around like drones, and Vertigo is like, "Ah, shit." As Waller activates his bomb, and Julie starts freaking out and screaming, so Deadshot mercy kills her. Well, we got what we came for, at least. All the reports on the missions and lies that Deadshot's also in a coma. And Lex is upset. He's like, man, I really like Peacemaker. And Deadshot could have been useful. At least Squad 1 survived. They're in the Legion for sure. He hangs up. And Waller calls up someone else. And she's like, "Well, of course, I would love to be your running mate." And she calls up someone else, saying that, "Yeah, I'm going to need Deadshot. It's about time this nation actually got a leader worth a damn. Take 30 years off his sentence. 50 if he makes it look like a real accident." And later, Lex gives his condolences to the former leader of Totally Not Israel and Count Vertigo. He walks off stage and it's kind of obvious. He mumbles to himself. He doesn't care. And later that night in the Oval Office, his bodyguard reports that there's been a break-in. He finds a thumb drive and a note by Owlman saying that this is something he needs to take on the League with. He puts it on.
"If you're seeing this, Robin, it means I've been compromised. This hologram's activation means that I, probably the entire Justice League, have gone rogue. Babel protocols are active. I've been secretly developing countermeasures to nullify the rest of the League."
And we kind of fade in and out of Bruce explaining different contingency plans to different League members, with Lex comedically fast-forwarding through Aquaman because he thinks he sucks.
"There is no anti-Batman device. Team up with Nightwing, and if you can find him, Jason. You'll need to rely on all your years of highly specialized training, discipline, loyalty to your team, None of us can do this alone. The team you lead, the family you choose, that's something you taught me, son. Now, Superman.
Lex kind of talks over explaining, yeah, we all know kryptonite's bad for Kryptonians. But then there's an edit and Bruce is like, update. Due to recent events of him radiating kryptonite to create blue kryptonite against their Earth 3 counterparts, Bruce proposes the idea that they can possibly radiate kryptonite to make something just as, if not even more effective than normal green kryptonite against our universe's Superman. Lex smiles and he hits a button on his desk saying to summon the Legion. He has a new use for the nuclear plant in Dakota City. Then we cut to the Justice League and they're messing around with their new satellite and they're testing the teleporter. They immediately try on Barry and luckily it's a success as he froze up and says not cool. On one of the screens, we see an ad for T-Spheres by Terrific Tech. It's kind of like an iPhone ad, and the T-Spheres are sort of like drone iPhone things. But then breaking news! In Dakota City, a reactor erupted, becoming a giant red crystal, in what locals are calling the Big Bang. So the League heads down to help, and all Dakota is getting affected by this, and people are having random mutations because of the red crystals. Including one guy who was apparently two different people who are now fused together. And Wonder Woman tries helping them out, and they figure out how to defuse. But Superman's all weird around the crystals, and he starts shaking and randomly laser eyeing, so he just flies off. Back with Lex, he's with his main guys of the Legion, and Lex explains that they now know that the red kryptonite works, they can continue with their plan. Just as Lex Luthor walks in claiming that someone who's totally not him beefed it in the pool, and it's whoa, who are these people? We got freaking nuclear Skeletor, Snowman, a gorilla, and this guy looks normal. As Vandal Savage says that the hair on his chin's older than he'll ever comprehend. And then he's like, what? Lex excuses Lanny and tells him to beat it, and they have to assemble the rest of the Legion. Back with the League, they're helping out with civilians as Bruce calls on a T-Sphere. He's still pretty messed up after his dealing with the Core of Owls. The two guys, Jason Rush and Ronnie Raymond, explain that they think they got this, they say firestorm, fist bopping, and turn back into the hero, and they're defused, and they try it again. Then we see a bunch of criminals getting freed and sent to Louisiana. They make it to Doom Hall, and Lex is there on Skype, and Vandal's there in person. They explain that their mission is to take out the vigilantes of the Justice League. They've all been selected because of their skills and hatred for League members. And for each League member they take out, they'll be receiving $100 million. And some are there's no way Lex Luthor, Derek Powers, and whoever this other guy is has that much money. People are rambling, yeah. And Vandal is you misunderstand. I do have that much money. I have many fake accounts under my many fake names I've accumulated through my very long life. Vandal explains his name is actually Wendell. Many years ago, when he was just a caveman, he slept by some kryptonite he didn't know at the time, which fell from the stars, which gave him immortality. He's lived many lives since then, accumulating a vast fortune. And Copperhead doesn't believe him, so slashes his throat, just for it to instant heal. It's wow, he is immortal. And they start questioning where Lex is, and he's oh, I'm somewhere important for our next phase. As we cut to the news, and they say that there's talks between North and South, totally not Korea, for peace. And their moderator is going to be U.S. President Lex Luthor. And one reporter is kind of questioning why he, of all people, is doing it.
Trust me, I'm a smart person. The people that you most distrust turn out to be the most honorable ones.
And later, we see John enjoying a drink that a pretty lady bought him. But then he starts having a weird reaction to it, because it was filled with magnesium, which has a weird effect on Martian biology. And then the pretty lady causes a spark with her hand, catches him on fire, which is Martian Manhunter's one weakness. And no matter what happens, no matter what they do, even jumping into the nearby river, he just cannot put it out. Meanwhile, with Barry, he's doing his job, just for him to hear that the rogues are attacking a money train. So as the Flash, he runs up, freeing some people who are captured on the train, and they explain that this train was full of money that was going to be decommissioned, and now Mirror Master and Captain Boomerang are trying to steal the money. After some shenanigans with Mirror Master making doubles, he finds the real one, just for Captain Boomerang to shoot Barry in the back of the neck with a nanite that every single time Barry tries accessing the Speed Force, it sends him off balance and sends him spinning on the ground having a seizure. And with Wonder Woman, she's just like on patrol until someone comes up to her, calling her out, and then uses her suit to grow giant.
Giganta. Bigger and better, bitch! Get down!
She recognizes that Giganta's powers are similar to Atom Smasher's, and it was also a distraction because Copperhead and Scarecrow are working together, and with Copperhead's swords, they tipped it with poison and fear toxin. Getting a scratch on Diana, she starts freaking out because of it, and starts attacking civilians and nearby cops. Plastic Man is walking home back to his boyfriend just as he's comedically frozen by Killer Frost and smashed by Ragdoll. Green Lantern's fighting Killer Croc and Parasite, just for it to also be a distraction as Toyman pulls up with a hypnotizing lollipop toy, and they hypnotize him to think that he's blind, and because of his willpower, the ring makes him blind. Lois calls Clark that Henry Atkinson is on the roof of the Daily Planet, and they think he's going to jump, so he flies in. Superman tries talking him down from it, but Henry explains that his life is terrible and he feels hollow, he's losing his identity, wondering if he's gone insane. To find the truth in front of me, he pulls out a gun. I climb this mountain range, looking down the deadly heights, wondering why I even fight. Then he points the gun at Clark, shooting him with a red kryptonite bullet, and he reveals himself to be Metallo in disguise with nanomachines, as well as flashing him with some green kryptonite of his heart to make sure. Superman falls and he crashes, and like the red kryptonite's really messing with him. It's making his skin transparent, and it's kind of like overloading Superman. Meanwhile, the talks of North and South Malaysia, it's actually going well, and they almost shake hands, agreeing to unify, just as some member of the crowd turns into Clayface and starts attacking. The North's leader says this was an assassination attempt, declaring war and running away. As Lex tries to get to safety as a reporter talks to him again.
You're profiting off this war. So what's your angle?
You'll have to make that determination. There is absolutely no collusion. That has been proven.
Meanwhile, Count Vertigo's country claims that the other side's the reason why their leader is gone and invades. And like the Legion of Doom's like celebrating and partying at the Hall of Doom. And the Riddler is upset that Batman didn't find his puzzle yet. Meanwhile, Bruce sees all this on the news, and Alfred tells him what's going on. He starts putting together, wait a minute, his contingency plans. When Owlman got into the Batcave, he must have stole the plans. Oh no! So he calls up Cyborg and he gets Firestorm. And they head to Wonder Woman. They help out some civilians and the cops. They tussle with Wonder Woman for a bit, but Cyborg uses a sonic screech to kind of mess with Wonder Woman and gets her okay. And they do the same with Green Lantern. And they send Firestorm to deal with Gian because it turns out Firestorm's powers is he can mess with the molecular structure of things, so he's able to turn the magnesium into like water or something, and so now he's fine. Gian is also able to take the red kryptonite out of Clark. They find Plastic Man and free him from the ice. They find Barry, and after a little bit of weirdness of trying to get him steady, still, they remove the nanomachine. He's like, oh, thank guys. I don't think I could have handled another day of that. A Cyclone says that the nanomachine says the thing's only been active for 20 minutes. And Barry starts freaking out and crying that it's only been 20 minutes and it's felt like 3 days. So the League meets up and they're all confused, and Bruce explains that yes, he made some contingency plans for every member of the League. And when he had his life stolen from him by Owlman, it appears that he was able to access the files and send them to the wrong people. Clark being Clark is understanding, but everyone else is really upset. Maxie and Jimmy don't know if they should be upset that they weren't attacked or upset that Bruce didn't have contingencies for them. Arthur's more upset that they weren't even informed that the contingencies were a thing. Barry realizes this is why they were able to take out the crime syndicate so easy, because Bruce has been thinking about this. Plastic Man screams that he's been frozen today. He really appreciates what Bruce did to help him, but that's pretty messed up. He wasn't informed that this contingency was going to happen. Bruce claims that it's all for the greater good. In case they actually did turn rogue, it was a good idea on paper. Just as he gets a call by Amanda Waller, who says that they want to take down Lex, she has the info to take him down. And there's like a shady garage dealing with the League and Amanda Waller with a file. And back at the resort, Lex is talking with the Legion, saying that now they can take down the League. This means they can achieve more power.
You can easily frame the argument now for heroes to be registered and regulated.
Next day, Lex talks in front of the White House, claiming that these vigilantes of the Justice League will no longer stand. They have the ability to take them down now. They have to play by our rules now, and they have to register. And if not, we'll fight like hell. If I'm elected president again, I will make sure they do play by our rules. The American rules.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath. And it's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
Then just then, the Justice League teleport in and try to confront them.
As you can see from the documents before you, these confidential files prove that Lex Luthor has defied UN regulations by continuing to secretly run LexCorp. Worse, Luthor has used his illegal organization to create and control his own meta-human trafficking chain.
This is fake news, and I resent even addressing allegations from unregulated meta-vigilantes. We will soon change the international libel laws, which allow these so-called heroes to smear my good name.
Clark tries expressing that he would never lie, but these files prove that Lex has been for years, and he's trying to seize more and more power. If he ever gets a second term, only thing that will make it worse.
Tell your supporters now, no matter what, no violence.
As Magog is like, oh yeah, right. He's the one lying. He's the one who's actually trying to drain the swamp and tell the people how it actually is instead of hiding everything behind a bunch of bureaucratic bullshit. If you're the one who doesn't lie, then why don't you tell us who you actually are, you American hater? Clark says that he doesn't hate America.
Are you willing to condemn white supremacists and militia groups?
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
And just because he keeps his identity private doesn't really mean anything. They're just trying to give people the knowledge that Lex has been lying and doing bad to the society. And then one of the protesters screams that he said he hates America, get him! This spirals into the crowd attacking the Capitol building as well as the League.
Incredibly dangerous situation that's unfolding.
As well as the Legion appears, and there's a big fight between everything. The Flash tries zipping all the protesters out of the building. Cyborg and Aquaman take on Metallo and Toyman and a giant robot Nutcracker. Firestorm fights Blight. Magog confronts Superman, and he peels some stuff off of his staff, revealing that he has the kryptonite spear from Batman v Superman. Bruce forgot to destroy it. And the energies of the kryptonite charge him up, and he's actually able to kind of deal with Superman. And he yells at Superman that he could have done more and saved more people if he wasn't such a goody two-shoe. He wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty like Lex. Or the Elite. My family's dead because of you, and today I finally get my revenge. Clark just lasers him in the eye and starts smacking him around. Taking the spear from him, saying that he's sorry about his family, but this is not the way to go. He snaps the spear in half, tossing it away. But Lex picks it up, and then he takes off his suit, revealing that he's wearing General Zod's armor, saying that now he has an advantage. And then the two fight, as Lex adds the kryptonite from the spear to his armor, powering it up, and it kind of looks like the fight between Armstrong and Raiden from Metal Gear.
Alright, the truth then. You're right about one thing. I do need capital and votes. Wanna know why? I have a dream.
What?
Parasite grabs him from behind, stealing some of Clark's energy, and he gets powerful. Aquaman and Cyclone fight him off.
That one day, every person in this nation will control their own destiny. A land of the truly free, damn it. A nation of action, not words, ruled by strength, not committee. Where the law changes to suit the individual, not the other way around. Where power and justice are back where they belong. in the hands of the people! Where every man is free to think, to act for himself! Fuck the media! America is diseased, rotten to the core. We need to pull it out by the roots. Wipe the slate clean. Burn it down! And from the ashes, a new America will be born! Evolved, but unchained! The weak will be purged, and the strongest will thrive, free to live as they see fit. They'll make America great again!
What the hell are you talking about?
You still don't get it. I'm using war as a business to get elected! So I can end war as a business. My new America. People will die and kill for what they believe! Not for money, not for oil! Not for what they're told is right. Every man will be free to fight his own wars!
Then the Task Force X guys get a call by Waller saying they'll still get their money as well as a presidential pardon if they stand down and leave. And they, comedically do, so the League has a lot easier time now. Green Lantern traps Parasite in a cage. Plastic Man and Aquaman tag team Vandal Savage. Everyone dogpiles Lex and he's confused how this happened. And Superman explains that just because you have a team doesn't mean much. You have to have a family. A group bound by trust, honor, and respect. Bruce kind of looks down because of what he did. But anyways, despite the Capitol attack, Lex is the first president going to jail. Pete Ross, from IHOP manager to vice president to now president, apologizes for what Lex did, as well as denounce what Lex did. So he loses the election to What's-His-Face and Amanda Waller, who's totally not getting it candied. Waller lied to the task force as they're sent back to Blackgate. Firestorm is allowed into the League, and now we have to talk about Bruce. He's sorry that it got into the wrong hands, but he doesn't apologize for making the plans in the first place. This organization is far too powerful to have no safety feature installed. Everyone's still kind of upset with Bruce, so they have a vote to say if they should kick or let him stay in the League. And with a narrow vote, he stays in, but Bruce agrees to take a break from the League for a while. And before he leaves to go back home, Bruce gets stopped by Clark. He says he realizes that, maybe it is a good idea, and gives him a little box. Bruce takes the box, opening it, joking, but what would Lois say? As the audience sees that it's a ring. Clark telling him that it's both kryptonite bullets that hit him. In case he ever goes rogue, he trusts Bruce will be the one to stop him. Bruce leaves, and he pays Amanda Waller a visit.
Born in East St. Louis, Rhodes Scholar, PhD in political science, served in intelligence under 3 administrations.
Am I supposed to be impressed? Maybe I should rattle off your resume now. I could blow the whistle on you anytime I want.
I'm sure the American people will be just as interested in your activities.
Or what would happen if you took the same action that the Justice Lords did? So I had my people run some computer simulations.
Whatever you think you're doing, if you present a threat to the world...
If we present a threat, you've got a spaceship floating over our heads with a laser weapon pointing down. In another dimension, 7 of you overthrew the government and assassinated the president.
Then we see Lex in jail, but he sneezes, revealing for a second that he's actually Clayface. As we see a speedboat heading to a yacht with Lex and his bodyguard Mercy Graves. Gorilla Grodd's already on the yacht, and he's mad at Lex because he struck too early. And they're joined by Volcana. Lex says he might have lost now, but there's always 2024. As they sail off to North Asia, and they sneak into the country. And then the end credits is the Justice League helping out with humanitarian against that Count Vertigo country. Then the post credits, we see some new people trying to join the League, like Bawana Beast, and some people are kind of confused about him. It's all happening at the Hall of Justice, formerly the Flash Museum, now owned by the Justice League. But suddenly, 2 aliens approach the League, saying that they need to prepare, because Darkseid is on his way. But what do you guys think? You like these ideas? Do you hate them? You think I could have done any better? Let me know in the comments below. When you're down there, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're new.